Hey everybody, Alonzo here with Gulf Coast Smoke. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to show you guys how to smoke on a charcoal grill super duper easy. So we are going to be smoking a pork butt today on my Weber kettle, but I really want to concentrate on one thing and one thing only. Showing you guys how easy this process can be. You do not need to have a custom offset smoker, a Weber Smoky Mountain, a brand new pellet grill. You don't need to have any of that stuff to smoke good meat. If you could pick up a Weber kettle or something small like that from Walmart, I'll show you how to use that today, how to smoke your meat moving forward. So we are going to be cooking a pork butt today, like I said, and this is just half of one, and this is actually the boneless side. So really the only two people in my family that eat barbecue heavily are my wife and I. So we're going to make some dinner for us later on. My kids, sometimes they'll get a piece or two, but nothing too crazy. So we don't need a full pork butt today. But the same exact stuff is going to apply on any piece of meat. This is going to be super duper easy. I'm going to show you guys everything you need to know on how to smoke your meat on one of these simple charcoal smokers. So real quick, like I told you guys before, we're not concentrating too much on the meat today. I am going to hit it with some yellow mustard, and then I'm going to hit it with some Holy Gospel from Meat Church Barbecue. That's going to be a quick process. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that with you guys. I do want to head outside, talk to you about how we're going to set up the charcoal, talk about how we're going to set up the wood chunks, and go from there. That to me is the most important part of the day. So real quick, come on in with me. I do want to show you how I'm going to do this real fast. We're not going to talk about it. And then we're going to head right outside. Alright, so like I told you guys a second ago, seasoning is a super duper simple process. We're not even really going to worry about that. But I do want to show you exactly how we're going to set up the charcoal today on my Weber kettle. So come over here real fast with me. Alright, so you can see that I used a charcoal chimney today and I filled it all the way to the top with briquettes. What we're going to do with this is we're going to pour most of them out. We'll leave a little bit in there. You can see that's probably about 10 or 15. Then what we'll do, we'll kind of spread this out a little bit. Put the majority of the charcoal over here and leave a few over here on the right side. Now you can do this either way. It doesn't have to be on the left or the right. I'm just choosing this way today. So we're going to put the lit charcoal over here in the end, and then it'll burn this way slowly. So you can see that today we're not using any baskets or anything. I want to show you guys how to do this as simple as possible, and I promise you this is easy. Just have a little bit of confidence and go with it. So I got a little bit of the paper from my charcoal bag, and I'm going to go ahead and light these up, and this should be about 5 or 10 minutes. It won't take long at all. Then we'll go from there. Alright, so these coals are just about all the way white. We don't need them completely white. We are looking for a smoke today. So come on in. I want to show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to show you where I'm going to throw them, where I'm going to put the wood chunks, and what else we're going to do. Alright, so the coals are almost completely white. They aren't there, but that's completely okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dump them on that side that doesn't have as much coals. So now you can see that this side that was a little empty has kind of leveled out with the rest of the charcoal. So that's what we basically want. This is going to slow smoke across here. So another thing I want to let you guys know what we're going to do today. So let me clean the ash real quick. But we're basically going to go halfway on the vents there. You can see down here, the vents are halfway cracked. That's the way we're going to smoke it today. So now 2 more things before we're done. We are going to add a water pan today to add a little bit of moisture to our cook. Now here you can actually get a little bit exotic with it. You want to add pineapple juice, apple cider vinegar, onions, pineapples, something in there. That's completely up to you. We're also going to go ahead and use some cherry chunks today. So I'm going to put one right here where the charcoal's lit, and I'm going to put one where it's unlit. And that's all the smoke that you're going to need. The meat itself can only absorb so much smoke before it starts to taste bitter, so we don't need it too crazy. This is going to be just enough. Alright, so now I got the lid on here. I'm letting it come up to temp. It's just about ready to throw that meat on. Another thing I want to let you guys know is these vents on top here, I've also cracked halfway. Now, Today, I'm not going to concentrate too heavily on the temperature here. I want to make this easy for you guys. So I'm not going to use my ThermoWorks smoke. I'm not going to even look at the temperature gauge over here at all. This is something that you want to learn how to feel when the barbecue is ready, how to feel your pit temperatures, all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and concentrate on that. Now, another thing is this vent is sitting right over where the meat is going to go, and that's because you want that airflow to be going right over that meat, and that's where you're going to get that nice smoke flavor where we're using those cherry chunks today. So real quick, let's just go inside, grab the butt, put it on the pit, and then we'll come back and check it in about 2.5 hours, 2 hours, and we'll look at it together, see if we need to spritz it, see how things are going. Again, today is all about making this a simple process. Sorry about my son over there. He's probably excited for this pork butt coming up later today. But yeah, this is all about making this a simple process. Do not overcomplicate barbecue. It is not that hard. I mean, yes, I've made a lot of mistakes for sure in my past, but just have some confidence. Just go for it. Don't be afraid to mess up. It's not that big a deal. Just go inside, get this pork butt, put it right on, then we're going to hang out for a little bit. Alright, so it's been 2 hours since we took a look at this butt, and I want to look at it together with you guys. Don't forget, today we're talking about a simple and an easy cook on this charcoal grill. This is not a smoker, but it's very, very versatile. I've told you guys from the beginning of my channel that I love my Weber kettle. I cook on it the most out of everything that I've got, and I really think that it's a great starter pit, and you can also do a lot of good stuff with it. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this together and see what we're working with. Alright, butt's looking pretty good, forming a nice bark here. So if you look over at the charcoal, you can see that slowly but surely it is burning over, so it's about halfway now. It looks like we might need to add some more charcoal there. You see how the coals are almost completely out? That's okay. So another thing that I'm noticing on this butt is right here on the side that's closer to the charcoal, it's getting a little more color. So what I want to do here real fast is I just want to pick this up, flip it around, and now you can kind of see that there's some spots over here that are a little more, that have a little more color on it. Let's hit it with a little spritz. So if you don't know what spritz is, and I am very, very bad sometimes about explaining what spritz is just a mixture of moisture, anything you want. I have 50-50 apple cider vinegar and water in this, and basically we're just applying it to the meat to make sure that it doesn't dry out over time. So what I'm also going to do now is add a little bit more charcoal right there in that spot that I told you guys about, and let it keep rolling. So far everything's looking good. 2 hours in, I would say maybe 2 or so more hours. If we could wrap it up, then we could get it real nice and tender. But let's go ahead and add that charcoal real quick, and then we'll get back inside. Alright, so it's been 3.5 hours now. This pork butt has been hitting smoke. I want to take a look again. It's not a huge piece of meat, so I do want to see if it's time to wrap. So let's go ahead and take a look at it together, kind of see how things are going, see how the charcoal is going, see if we need to add a little bit more, see how it's smoking. But again, we're looking for a simple cook today. We haven't even looked at the temperature one time. We're not worried about it. We just want to see how we're going to be able to do this on our charcoal grill, easy, low and slow, get this pork butt done. But it's close to being time to wrap, where we want to get this really, really tender. So let's take a look at it together. Oh yeah, that's looking real good. I love the color there. You can see that the bark is set. So this is exactly where I want it to be. I say we take this inside, wrap it up in some foil, get this right, get this nice and tender. All right, so we're inside now. We're about to wrap this pork butt up in some foil. This is a very, very simple process as well. I am gonna hit it with a little more of that spritz. And just to go into detail again on what spritz is, this is literally just a moisture that we're applying to the meat so it doesn't dry out. The meat is not dry at all right now. We're just adding some moisture in there to help it steam. We want this to get very, very tender. Looking good. We'll hit it with a little more rub in the spots that it looks like it could use some on the back here. Maybe in some of these crevices and cracks. And then, simple as can be, we just want to wrap it up tight. So the cook from here on out has nothing to do with anything but tenderness on this pork butt. It can take another hour, it could take another 2 hours. It doesn't matter. We just want to be able to feel probe tender when we poke into this meat. Now, just to give you a guideline, temperature is always a guideline. We're looking for about 200 and 203 degrees internal temperature on this pork butt. But again, we're not going to pull it until it is probe tender, until we know that this is going to give us a nice pulled pork. That's what we're eating today, pulled pork. We'll make a couple of sandwiches, hang out, do that good jazz. But anyway, right now, even when we go back outside, we're going to place it back on the pit, and we'll actually go ahead and just open up the vents because temperature doesn't matter anymore. We just want this to get super duper tender. So let's go ahead and walk right back outside, put this on the pit, and let it finish. All right, so this pork butt has been wrapped for about an hour and a half. Now I want to take a look at it, see where the temp is, see how tender it is, and feel it as well. We will look at internal temp around 200, 203, but let's go ahead and see if we can't get a feel of how this meat feels. Lots of steam coming off. Close. Not quite there. Feels pretty good in some areas, and then in others it's a little tight. We're almost there. I would like it to feel a little more probe tender in some areas, like right here. You see how it's kind of sticking there? I want it to be a little more probe tender. Let's check this again in about 30 minutes. All right, so it's been another 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and check on the pork butt, see if it's finally time to pull it off, let it rest for a little bit. Oh yeah, that's a lot better right there. See how it slides in? Boom. Perfect. Yep. Feels like butter all the way through. See, we're about 202 here. Oh yeah. A little hotter over here, 208, 209. But look, one more time. See how it slides in like butter? Pull out, no resistance at all. This is ready. Let's go ahead and rest this for about 30, 45 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull it up. All right, so about 45 minutes later, this butt has been resting. I want to take it out, pull it apart, try it out, and see how it all turned out. So come on in real close. We'll take a look at it together. So I actually rested this with the foil a little bit cracked so it could release some of the steam. I'll save the juices there, put it back in here, and get to pulling. Oh yeah, super duper tender. So just so you know, I have liners under here, and it's actually double lined, so be careful because this is hot no matter what. I promise you. You will get a little bit of the connected fat in there. You can actually pull that apart and take it out if you want, but you can see this is super tender, exactly the way you want your pulled pork to be, for sure. You can see a nice little smoke ring in there. You see the nice bark. I know this is going to taste really good. And there's that fat I was talking about that kind of runs through the meat. You see that? So you can actually just like pull that apart and get it out if you want. It doesn't bother me too much, to be 100% honest. So I leave it in there most of the time, but that's completely up to you. I'll usually just eat around it. It's not that big a deal to me. But let's go ahead and keep pulling this. You can see a lot of fat right there. So I probably will pull that part out for sure. Still very hot. Even with double liners and the gloves, it's still very, very hot. So like I said, be careful. I actually have these little claws out just in case. I don't typically like to use them, but hey, you never know. Yeah, this is hot. So watch out. Always be careful. Coming apart pretty easily. I'm using just about 0 force here. But yeah, I mean, I would say this is a pretty dang good product for sure. So last piece here, like I said, you can see it's just coming right apart. Absolutely amazing. Just kind of toss it in its own moisture there. Boom, done. And like I said, I'll eat around the fat. Not a huge deal to me. But, I mean, that looks really good. So, of course, you know we got to take a bite now. All right, so I did pull a few of these fat pieces out that I don't want to eat. So I'm going to get these out of the way real quick. And now we'll take a bite of that pulled pork. Oh, yeah. I mean, delicious. Get a piece of that bark now. That's perfect. That's perfect. A great smoke. Great smoke flavor. Great cook overall. Super duper simple. That's the thing I wanted to show you guys today. The product was not too important, right? It didn't matter if we were smoking pork, but it didn't matter if we were smoking pork ribs, brisket, beef ribs, whatever. You can use a charcoal grill like this and you can still get good results. You don't have to overthink it. You don't need a slow and sear. You don't even need the baskets. That little foil pan that I had was about $2 or less at the store. So you don't need crazy equipment in order to put out a good product. Just follow the guidelines that I put out there for you today, and I promise you, it will give you a very good outcome. This is absolutely delicious. You can give this to anybody and they're not going to be able to tell, oh, you smoked it on this or you didn't smoke it on this. I promise. This was a great cook. If you guys are ever interested in smoking on your charcoal grill, watch this video, go back, see exactly how I did it. Super duper simple process. I believe in every single one of you guys. Believe in yourself. Have confidence in your cue no matter what. I've told you guys that before. I'll say it again. I know you guys can go out there and put out a good product for sure. Get yourself a charcoal grill from Walmart. Get yourself a Weber kettle. Whatever you want. You don't have to go crazy. Just start smoking meat. Start going out in your backyard, having a good time with your family and your friends. And again, I really appreciate you guys always tuning into my videos. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and click subscribe right now. Hit the little bell. Every single time I put out a brand new video, you will be notified. So we're close to 700 subscribers. Hopefully by the time I put this out, you guys can push me over that. Then we're on the road to 1,000. Thanks again for everything you guys have been supporting with so far. We'll see you guys soon. All right, so I forgot one thing. It was such a good outcome that I jumped the gun, but we're actually going to make a pulled pork sandwich with this. Just put a little bit of sauce. Look, I had the sauce out and I just completely forgot about what I was doing. I was just super happy with these results and I was ready to move on and start eating. But we do have to put a sandwich together. I want to show you guys how that is. And I promise you, it'll be delicious as well.